people, welcome to another episode of Heri Mimi's World. And today we are going to look at 3 assumptions that people make about single people. You heard me right. 3 assumptions that people make about single people. So many people think that just because you're single, aka you don't have a boyfriend or a girlfriend, that you must be lonely. You must be in your bedroom every evening and just crying yourself to sleep. Yes, unfortunately, that is assumption that people make. People confuse being alone with being lonely. You can be alone but totally satisfied in your own company. But people assume that because you're single, then you must be lonely. You must be dying of loneliness and needing company, which is so not the truth. I want to acquiesce that sometimes you do get lonely, but it's not like, every day you're just lonely and you're just dying to be in somebody's company. True story. So one day I am on the beach. I am on a prayer retreat with some friends, and so we broke off and we just went in different directions to pray. So I'm just there walking along the beach and I'm looking at the ocean and I'm just meditating and just saying, God, you're so awesome. I have my earphones in, I'm listening to this music, it's instrumentals, and I'm just reflecting on the awesomeness of God. And then this guy just from nowhere just walks up to me. And it's like, hey, are you okay? Whatever, you look like you're sad. So I'm just like, sad? I'm not sad. Then I wanted to ignore him because I'm telling him that, by the way, as in I am on a prayer retreat, I'm meditating. So please, can I just, meditate and just talk to God alone on this prayer retreat? There's limited time. We only had like 1 hour to pray. So I'm like, I'm on a timeline, as in I just need to pray. So thank you, but conversation, not really welcome. Anyway, this guy insists on talking. So out of politeness, I'm like, okay, I will talk. I will converse with Al. So we talk and he goes like, so you look like you're lonely. So I'm just like, oh, why would you even say that? Then out of the blues, do you have a lover? I'm like, no. Do you have a boyfriend? No. Are you married? No. Do you have kids? No. He just made this yanni. He just looked at me like, and then yanni Rotu Safi, he just told me, Aki, you must be so lonely. So when I'm trying to tell him that, no, I'm not lonely, as in I'm fine. No, I don't believe you. You must be lonely. You must be lonely. You don't have anyone. How old are you? I don't know why I was giving him all this information. So I go like, I'm 33 years old. You're 33. You don't have a boyfriend. You don't have a lover. You're not married. You don't even have a child. Aki, you. By the way, you must be lonely. Aki, I'm so sorry. It's not good. Aki, you must be so lonely, by the way. People, that is an assumption, y'all. It is an assumption. Just because you are alone, it doesn't mean that you are lonely. Have you ever heard the expression lonely in a crowd? You can be with people and still lonely. Loneliness is not about the fact that you are alone. It is the fact that you feel detached. You feel like there's no social connection with somebody else. It feels like you're not accepted. That's what loneliness is. It's not just the state of being alone. That is not defined as loneliness. So that is one assumption that people make about singles, that we surely must be alone and languishing in our loneliness. Yes, assumption number 1. Let's look at our second assumption. Girls, if you have been like me, then enough people have told you that, the reason you single is you so picky, you so high maintenance, not everybody is perfect, so you just gotta take the man the way he is, don't be so choosy. Girls, have you heard that thrown in your face? That has been thrown in my face like so many times. If I had a dime for every time that was thrown in my face, I would be a millionaire right now living in a mansion. Here's the thing. I don't want to condone. I know there's some girls and some guys who are like extremely picky and high maintenance, like, oh, he must have yellow, he must have green eyes, and he must be this tall, and he must be this slim, and he has to have a six-pack, and he has to... That's ridiculous, okay? Not everything is about the physique, and he must have this money, he must live in this estate, he must... Okay, so some things, and yeah, they're really neither here nor there, right? As in they're kind of trivial in the grand scheme of things. We want to look at somebody's character, somebody's goals, somebody's ambition, somebody's drive, as in, do they love God? As in, there are some core things which I believe you should be looking for in your partner. And character needs to be like, top on that list, even more than physique. Somebody can be looking, really mighty fine. Somebody can be fine, guys, but they open their mouth and you can just see that this person is arrogant, this person has no respect for humanity, this person does not love Jesus Christ. Okay, that's not, if you're a Christian, that's not the person for you. But at the end of the day, just because you have some things that you're looking for in a person, it doesn't mean that you're picky. It just means that you're not going to settle for any Tom, Dick, and Harry who comes your way. At the end of the day, marriage is for life. So if you're gonna marry somebody, you gotta be sure that you gonna be able to stay with this person till thy kingdom come, till Jesus returns or death takes either one of you. So that's one of the assumptions that people have about singles. You must be single because you are picky. You picky girl, you picky guy, that's why you single. Assumption number 2, decoded. Let's look at assumption number 3. All right, so assumption number 3 is the one which I just hate the most. It is your fault. I mean, really? It's your fault? And by the way, true story, somebody actually told me it is my fault that I am single. Can you imagine that? As in, somebody just had the gall. As in, I'm sure they said it kwaro too sappy, so I don't even take offense, but I'm just like, wah, aki for real? Is that something you should tell somebody? So I'm talking with this guy. He was like in our circle of friends growing up, and he was just like, Heri, why are you single? So I'm just like, because I haven't met somebody who, I like. That time I was like in my early 20s. I think I was like 20. I don't even know if I'd graduated from college. I think I was still in college by the way. I was like 22, 21, thereabouts. But the guy is like, so why are you single? I'm like, I haven't met anyone, or nobody like who I like has actually approached me. And then the guy just looks at me just dead in the eye and goes like, girl, so you're pretty, you're smart, nice personality, as in, if you don't have a boyfriend in the next 3 months, there's something wrong with you. It's gonna be your fault. And I remember just thinking to myself, wow, so it's my fault that I am single. As in, and the unfortunate thing with that, sometimes, okay, fine, sometimes it might be your fault. Like maybe, like I said, you have these unrealistic expectations because of watching all of these soap operas, and you've been watching Disney movies for like forever. So fine, I agree, I concede there sometimes are like these high expectations, or maybe it's our fault because we push away anybody who comes our way because maybe you have deeply seated issues, unresolved from your past. Maybe you're hurt by some other guy, you got daddy issues, so I mean, sometimes it actually might be your fault, subconsciously, not on purpose, of course. But for most of the time, I mean, being single is not your fault, and it's not a death sentence because people make it look like, I mean, you single? Dun, dun, dun. Guys are singing that whole death match song. Dun, 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 dun. I'm like, one year I'm walking to my grave. They make singlehood look like something like, you are still single. No, singlehood is nothing to be ashamed of. And if you are single, I want to tell you today, most likely it is not your fault. Maybe it's just not your time. Maybe you haven't met the person who you're supposed to meet. But it won't also be bad to like do some self-reflection. In case there's something that you're doing to repel somebody, fine, then rectify that. But please, it's not you, okay? It's not you. As in, most of the times, your time just hasn't arrived, and it's fine. Just wait patiently. And I want to remind all singles, by the way, as I conclude this video, to use your singlehood to the best of your capability. It is a time you have, like, you don't necessarily have too many responsibilities. You can grow yourself, you can invest in yourself, you can, grow your skills, grow your talent, you can travel, use your singlehood well. Because most chances are, you'll be single for X amount of years, but you might be married for more years than you are single. Say you're single up to 35, but you're married up to 90. The years of you being single are less than the years that you're married. So, this time of singlehood, it is a gift. I want to encourage you, it is a gift, use it wisely. Otherwise, that is it for today. Those are the 3 assumptions that people make about singles. Are there any assumptions that I might have missed out? Please let me know. Comment below. Bye.